Okay, bear with me. I'm gonna come on in just a second to like talk a little bit, and then I'm gonna come back after the first initial showing and kind of go through the process of making the whole figure. Minicomic Pink Sorceress. Okay, couple things that I like learned. I think takeaways on this would be to do it a lot slower and probably sand all of the pieces first, mask things off a lot more thoroughly, and take my time. Just do it slower, and then the other thing with like setting things up on like clips and hanging things up so that they don't get touched and so that they don't get knocked over. But overall, I think it's really cool. And I don't know if the camera, oh, maybe it will. Oh, it would be cool if it did. The camera may not be picking up on the, I put a little bit of that iridescent spray on her staff. So that's a neat effect if the camera will pick it up. Maybe I'll take it further and then zoom in later. So that's a neat effect if it works, if it shows up. So I think that like some things that I'm noticing is that like it's kind of clumpy and gummy with like, especially in like all the joints. And I think that's probably like, maybe if I would have sanded it, it would have been a little bit easier to do. And like the paint would have held better. The white paint would have held better as a primer. But yeah, overall, I think it's pretty awesome. Perfect? No, but close. Another thing too is like I put a lot of like time and effort into like trying to do like a cool texture on the wings, but then once I put on the Mod Podge on there, it smeared everything. It acted like a solvent, and it like made things come undone. So this is like a display only type of a thing. I don't think it's a really move around and play with a lot type of a figure. Okay, so here I am just showing her. I mean the boots are cool. I put like the spray that I used was it's an acrylic sealer and it's Mod Podge. So I got two. I got one that's a high gloss and then another one that's a high gloss with an iridescent. The iridescent is like just really fine iridescent glitter. I'm unfortunately the camera's kind of picking it up on her bodysuit a little bit, and then I kind of like tap different places. Okay, and here I go. I'm mixing up the paints. I sped this up. So if you look at the figure on the right, she was spray painted. I took a. I'm gonna have to put in those other pictures. I masked off like her chest and neck at one point, and then like took her outside and spray painted her. The arms were spray painted. The boots were spray painted. The like her the part what do you call it? I guess the crotch, like the part, where the legs are, that waist piece I didn't spray paint because I didn't want any overspray on the legs. I hadn't really I hadn't really figured out masking things off yet at that point. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna use this paint pen. So I used a paint pen. A lot of that I edited out because like I painted for like an hour, and then I looked at what I had filmed and I was like, oh my gosh, this is an hour. So I started filming, or I started like a new video. And then that was, I mean, it was multiple hours of painting. And okay, so I'm starting out, or I was going to do the body, but then I was like, no, I'm going to do an arm first, I guess. I don't know. So do the arms. And I was holding it by like that little, I guess you call it the little stud or little peg that goes into her torso, which later on I kind of realized, that wasn't really the best idea. Okay, then her torso. So little by little, I'm just kind of applying more and more paint. And I think what I'm trying to do mostly is just kind of be cautious to not touch what I've painted and not have it touch other stuff. So, I don't want to put it down like paint side down. I don't know what that was all about. I guess comparing that it was the same color, I guess. And there I'm slopping a little bit of paint on the leg here and there. Again, masking it off would have been a good idea. And then I think what I did was I like balanced that peg on something, and then I bent her legs so that like it wouldn't touch. And here I am with the boots, and they've got that beautiful fur. Every time I say boots, I always think with the fur, and in this case it does apply. Even if there are boots that don't have fur, it's because of that song. But anyway, her boots are great. They, you know, I think that the white paint that I used, it was a spray paint, but I ran out, and it was actually a pretty good primer. It does hold the paint pretty well. I think that like really maybe if it's possible, maybe like soak it in hot water and like take them apart and paint them that way, and maybe with spray paint, because I think spray paint is a lot stronger or more permanent than acrylic paint. But then I sprayed an acrylic sealer on top. Okay, and here I go with the wings. I think, yeah, that's the front. Okay, and see, another thing, and I said it already in the video, is I'm like, oh, I want to make like the feathers look really like lifelike, and like have them have all this texture and have them look like this and like that and da 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 da. And I really spent a lot of time like going, back and forth with the feathers. And here I'm about to paint the headdress, and I'm like noticing that little part that's like I don't know, that little white part or whatever. So I was trying to do that, but I think I said that like it doesn't have that exact shape, so I'm not going to be able to recreate that. So I'm going to do the best that I can, or something like that. I probably said. And then I am just painting along and painting along. This really is just a lot of painting. And I honestly think that like I think 50% prep work and 50% paint is what went into this, or what should go into it. I really think a lot more preparation should have been done. At one point I was using like a Mr. Clean magic eraser to try to, clean some of the paint off, and it worked a little bit, but I was just too impatient. And I think that I got the inspiration to do it, and I was like, okay, I'm going to have the inspiration, I'm going to do it, and I want to do it now. And then like as an artist, when you have the inspiration, it's hard to get that motivation back. So I was like, I want to do it now. I'm going to do it now. So I was like, I'm doing it now. So I didn't really take the time to really do the research. But I think that like doing it, just jumping in and doing it is doing research, because you're learning what doesn't work. A lot of what I did, okay, and then there I am going the back. So I did like the front, and then I put her down, and then I was going to do the back. So that was kind of smart, just doing one half at a time. But later on, I realized like that you can like paint something. I got these clips, and I'm just super proud of myself for like with the arms. I would like clip both of the arms in, and then like the clip would hold the arms, and then I could just hold the clip, and then I can just paint the arms, and it was so great. And I don't know why I didn't do that from the beginning, but I'm glad I figured it out. Now I know what to do if I ever do another one of these, or another custom somebody else. So that's cool. Getting the base pink for the back of the feathers, and I think on the back I was going to try to start with like, I was going to try to do like mostly light pink on the back and like a darker pink in the front. But I think that what I ended up doing was just kind of doing the same on both sides, and just kind of going like trying to do like some type of a transitional fade from lighter to darker or something. But I think, well, the main thing is like that spray, that acrylic spray, just it really behaved like a solvent, and kind of blurred everything all together, which is fine. That's another lesson that maybe I don't need to get so specific. But here I go. I'm really putting all that work in there. I really just want to make those wings look perfect as possible. I really thought that mini comic version of her looked really, really, really cool, and I wanted to recreate it. And it's definitely, I was definitely having a lot of fun. It was a really good way to spend a Friday night just painting in my room. That was definitely a good time. And then I'm like trying to make it look like, this feather's going to be really light, and that feather over there is going to be really light, and then I'm going to come back in and da-da-da-da-da. But little did I know that Mod Podge was just going to like blend everything together. So I really, like, all of this is just kind of useless. Maybe if I would have let it dry a little bit more, that would have worked. And then another thing too is like, I took it out, like initially after I painted it, I took it out and I sprayed it, like not right away, but pretty close to right away. And I oh, and then I'm going back to the headdress. And that was another thing, is I would like work on one thing, put it down, go work on another thing, and then put it down, and then like, go back and forth to different things. And so that was probably why that video initially was at least 2 hours long. I mean, the first video itself was about an hour long, and then the oh, here I go. Oh, look, I gotta get the lips just right. There they are. Mwah! Oh my gosh. Details. And then what's this? Oh, this is me coming in with like Q-tip and alcohol to kind of like clean up any over painting, which again, I should have just used some masking tape, paper towel, and just masking tape her up so that I don't get the overpaint. And I'm just kind of cleaning some overpaint from her face a little bit. Now, initially I took this out and I sprayed it, and one of the things that really was making me mad was I would spray something and then put it down, and then I went to go like pick it up to go spray the other side, and it had like stuck to the paper. And so that's when so you can see that clip there, when I was like, oh, what if I took this clip and I clipped her arms there and then had it so that would keep it up so that I don't, so that the arms don't have to touch things. And then same with the legs. I put that little middle clip on that little part of her waist. I put that clip there and then held it up. So it was holding it up a little bit so that her bent knees were holding her waist up, if that makes sense. And then the boots, when I would spray them, they would fall over. So I took a little piece of tape and like, I don't know what we call it, curl it over itself or double it over or roll it onto itself and just kind of stick it to the bottom of the shoe, stick that to the paper towel. And then that way when I spray the boots, they don't fall over, but that one did. But they didn't fall over when I was spraying them the last time I was spraying them. And then what else do I have going on here? Oh, and then the head. I didn't want to put her head on that staff to spray it because that would be too much overspray. So I got a pipe cleaner and I like formed it into a thing to put the head on. And then I also put a little piece of like masking over her face, because I didn't want too much on her face. Because initially when I sprayed it, I didn't put anything on her face, and she got some of that iridescent glitter on her face. Then there she is hanging, out to dry. And then those pieces, of course, being held up and held separate, so they don't fall over and touch things. She is. All right, so there's that. Okay. And I think the best part, the most fun, is going to be putting her all together. Okay, so I think these are like that, I think. Okay, so here are her boots. I hope I'm doing the boots on the right feet, because it's probably not a good idea to take them apart a whole bunch. Oh, that's pretty cool. I think this, oh, oops, oh. Okay, let's do this first. Okay, so we got, there she goes. Oh yeah, looking pretty cool. You see that there? That's paint and glue altogether. I wonder if I should, oh, actually that wasn't such a bad thing. Okay, I was wondering if I should like take something like a toothpick or something and clear that out, because you see this opening is not as painted and sealed. Nice. One goes like this. See, part of what scares me a little bit is like you got to really press these pieces back in, and it makes me worried that I'm gonna like scuff the paint or something. Okay, Grizzlor, bring me her head. Bum, 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 bum. All right, so now we're gonna put her head on. Okay, thanks, Grizzlor. Okay, so she's got her staff, but we'll do that last. Okay. There we go. All right, there she is. All right, very nice. And then she's got her staff here. If I was going to give my own customer rating out of 10, I would probably give it a 7 out of 10, because that's pretty cool. And there are also like a lot of places that could have used a little bit more time and care and experience. But I gained the experience, so the next time I do one, it'll be cool. It'll be even better.